Bobcat Breakdown takes you inside Bryant Stratton College Athletics with interviews with coaches, players, and friends of the BSC athletic program. We will dig inside the game plan and break down the wins and losses, also giving you highlights and breaking news. This is the Bobcat Breakdown. Welcome to another installment of the Bobcat Breakdown here on the beautiful campus of Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Bryant Stratton. I'm here with head coach / director of track and director of cross country, Bryant Lief. Coach, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're not new to Bryant Stratton. You were assistant coach the year before taking over for Casey Green. This past year was your first year as the director of track and field cross country. Just kind of give us the background for those who didn't know your title and kind of what you bring to the program.
Yeah, so I came here in the summer of 2019, originally as the assistant cross country coach. Coach Casey Green hired me. I came right out of college and then began my coaching career here. So I came out in 2019, we just had cross country, had that year, and then when we added track and field the next year, added on the title of assistant track and field coach. Also added a lot of recruiting responsibilities, things like that. And then this past summer when Coach Green left, I was offered the job and took it. So now, the director of cross country and track and field, my first year in that position, but doesn't feel too new because it is my third year overall here. So.
Great point. Third year of us having cross country or track and field, but the success so early. I think you guys qualified 2020, or was that 2019, that first year?
Yeah, so our first year, we just had cross country. Our men's team was the regional champions for Region 4, and we had a individual women's qualifier for the national championships. So kind of just right off the bat having that success, even though it was our first year having cross country. And we kind of then continued to build on that when we added track and field. And in our first year of track and field, we had 4 qualifiers to the outdoor track and field championships. Had a national champion in the high jump, Jayvon Harrison. So we kind of were able to early on have that success, and now we're just kind of looking to continue to build that.
Talk about your success, and I think I have to go back and check the records, but either Jayvon Harrison for the long term, maybe our first national champion here at Bryant Stratton, or it could have been esports when one of our athletes won. I think it was Madden or it was 2K.
Yeah,
those are individual sports, but still, the same. For a program 7 years of having a sports program, and I think we have 3 national champions. Talk about the Jayvon, because first off, where did you get this kid from, right? And let's talk about what he brings to the program and just that success of winning a national championship here, bringing a individual national championship here to Bryant Stratton.
Yeah, so Jayvon, I mean, he has a great story. He began high jumping junior year of high school, and he actually went to the high school I went to. So when I was recruiting my first year here, I was kind of looking all over and looked, my high school, I had seen him actually jump once before. And so I kind of did a recruiting trip, saw him at the Ohio Indoor Track and Field State Championship, had a really good conversation with him after he jumped, and kind of just explained what we were doing, what we were building. At that point we hadn't had a track team yet, so a lot of the recruiting was, we don't have this history of success, but you put your trust in me, put your trust in the coaches, we're going to build something special. And he trusted us, he continues to trust us, and he decided to come here. He had multiple Division I NCAA offers, but really, felt like he could find a home here, and so far he's done some great things. And to kind of see what he's been able to do coming out of high school, he jumped about 6'10", and now at this point already he's above 7'2". So we're kind of looking at, he's someone who has a lot of potential, a lot of raw talent. Still only has been high jumping 3 years, and to be able to do this at this point, and he's someone who sets high goals for himself. We set high goals for him as a coaching staff, and he seems like he just keeps accomplishing them. So it's really been great to be able to work with a student athlete like that comes to work every day, works hard, expects a lot out of himself, and has had a lot of success so far.
Very interesting, because you just said after his first year he won a national championship. What did you guys say to him to keep him to come back for another year this upcoming season right now that he's performing in right now? That had to have been a great sell pitch, or Or also he trusted the coaching staff. You, being from his high school, maybe had some stuff to do with that too, and trusting, because he had Division I offers after winning last year.
He did, yeah. He had a lot of coaches contacting me, contacting Coach Green, interested in him, and he, took a look at first, and I think, something we as coaches are going to do is we're going to help our student athletes with whatever their next step is, whether they want to come here for 1 year, come here for 2 years, come here, get the degree, kind of whatever they're trying to do, we're just going to be there to support them and help in any way that we can. And so we had a conversation with him and said, if you're looking to move on, we'll help, we'll support you. But he, I think, could see what we were doing here, could see just in year one the jump he was able to make. And I think he just trusted that if he came here and stayed here another year, it could be even better. And so far, he's already gotten his personal best this year. He's already jumped higher than he did. He's jumped higher this year in indoor than he did last year in outdoor. So I think he knew that this was a place he could continue to develop, with our resources, with our coaching staff and everything. And he decided that the best move for him would actually be to stay another year. And he's gotten even more offers now at this point. So. We were just there to support him with whatever decision he made, and we're glad he's here. But he definitely wanted to continue on and continue doing what we were doing here.
I think another good reason that he came back is one of your coaches, the high jump coach. Talk about that relationship that he has, and that he trusted in Wally to come back and coach him. But also, Wally has a great story too. That a lot of people may not know that who Wally is and how that relationship kind of expands, and just maybe he kind of looks up to some of the things that Wally did when he actually was performing.
Yeah, definitely. So Wally Allen, our jumps coach, as well as our other assistant coaches, all come from great athletic backgrounds, have had great coaching backgrounds. So we're really fortunate to have a coaching staff of that caliber. But Wally specifically, he actually jumped at Marquette. About 6 or 7 years ago, he qualified for the national championships in Division I at Marquette. He was a multiple-time Big East conference champion. He had high jumped kind of on the national stage, not just in college, but in kind of meets beyond that too. So he's someone who had a lot of success as an athlete himself, and kind of then took that into coaching. And from day one, he met Jayvon, saw him jump for the first time, noticed some things right away, worked with Jayvon on that, and Jayvon just did a few adjustments that Wally suggested, and big jump, big increase right there. So I think that relationship between them has gone really well. Jayvon is someone who is easily coachable. He's going to listen, he's going to take suggestions. Wally's someone who is able to see something and spot some things that can be worked on and kind of work on implementing those right away. So we're really fortunate to have someone like Wally working with not just Jayvon, but the rest of the jumpers as well, whether it's high jump, long jump, triple jump, because they've had a lot of improvement overall in that event group. So it's definitely been, I owe a lot of credit to Wally and the work he's been able to do with them.
Let's talk about some of the others on this track team. You had 4 qualify for this upcoming Masters. Talk about those 4 and kind of what's special about each of them.
Yeah, I mean they're all hard workers overall. I mean to begin. ET is someone who has qualified in the high jump and the long jump and the triple jump. So all 3 of the jump events. He's someone who, for the first time, triple jumped 2 meets ago, and already is at a point where we're expecting him to possibly score some points at the national meet. So he's someone who is always asking questions, always looking for ways to improve. And he's someone who, again, just like Jayvon, I'd say is very coachable, is always kind of looking for what he can do to get better. And no matter what the event is, he's someone who says, hey, can I do a 200 meter? Can I do a 400 meter? He's looking to do kind of everything. And sometimes we have to, tone it down a bit and say, let's focus on this meet, we'll do some of these, but you're going to have your opportunities. And we're going to make sure that he gets his opportunities to do some of those events. But he's someone who's just always looking to get better. We have Ratish Sharma, who qualified in the triple jump. He's someone that out of high school I recruited, and I knew I'd seen some film of him, I'd seen his results. He's someone who had really strong results in high school, came here and kind of continued that. And he's someone who works hard as well. He, when we're at track meets, he can kind of identify right away. He'll have a jump and he'll say, oh, I know that I can do this thing better. Or I know that I should have done this. So he's someone who kind of is very reflective and will do what it takes to get better and do whatever he can to get better. He's someone I really enjoyed coaching. And then KJ Morgan is our final qualifier. She's qualified in the weight throw. She's someone who, with one of our assistants, Coach William Keck, who, again, I owe a lot of credit to my assistants. They've done a great job, and he's worked with her last year in outdoor on the hammer throw when she qualified, and then this year in the weight throw when she qualified. And she's someone who comes in, she works hard, has a positive attitude. Again, is someone who's going to ask a lot of questions, be like, this didn't feel right, could I try this? Or what should I do here? Why is this happening? And she's someone who had been working on a new technique in the weight throw for the past about 6 weeks. And this past weekend, she just put it all together, had about 1.5 meters personal best in the weight throw, and that catapulted her. She was 26th in the NJCAA going into the meet, and now she's going into the national meet ranked 12th. So she had a big jump there, and it was exciting to see that, and seeing how she reacted when we told her, hey, you just qualified for the national championships, congratulations. So she's someone who's very hard worker, just like the rest of them, and we're excited to see kind of how she does, not just in this meet, but then when we go on the outdoor track and it changes from, instead of doing the weight throw, she'll then focus on the hammer throw, which is just an outdoor event. So.
And it's a couple of weeks now, you guys will be going to the indoor nationals. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
Talk about what's the expectations for these athletes going there, and as the director of track and field and cross country, what do you hope to kind of get out when you guys do qualify for nationals, and do you use that as like a recruiting pitch to other athletes that's looking at Bryant Stratton now as a powerhouse in track and field and cross country?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something that's great for recruiting. A thing I like to mention is, we're still early on, and we're qualifying these people to national championships. A lot of schools, it may take a while. They might start a track and field program, and it takes several years to kind of get to that level. And we're just trying to pitch that this is what we're able to do early on. We're looking to continue building it. We're not satisfied. We want to continue. We want to add more and more qualifiers. So that way we can continue to increase our team score each year. But it's definitely a good recruiting pitch for sure. And then just going to the meet, and this is something that me and the rest of the coaches have kind of preached all year, is that it's great. Qualifying for nationals is great, but we have higher goals than that, right? We want to score points. We want to place. We want to be All-Americans. We want to have things like that. And then another thing to talk about is, this is indoor track, indoor nationals. We want to do great. But our end goal is also then going to be outdoor nationals. And so it's different than a lot of sports where you have your national championship, season's over, right? It's like, no, we have our national championship next weekend, we get right back to practice the next week. So kind of keeping that in the back of our mind, still focusing on doing the best we can at that meet, but realizing that we still got 2.5 months after this. So it's definitely exciting. I mean, as a coach, I enjoy track and field. I'm happy that this isn't the end of the season. Right. But it's kind of just going in there, giving it our all, and then, we then quickly have to kind of shift our mindset to outdoor track and some of the changes that happen in outdoor. So it's an exciting time. It's going to be very busy, a lot going on, pretty hectic, but they're all in the right mindset. I've seen in practice, I've seen through talking with each of them, they're in the right mindset, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do next week.
All right, well, good luck when you guys and the 4 athletes go to the indoor track and field nationals. We'll have you back to talk about the outdoors, and hopefully we'll talk about more athletes qualifying for the outdoor track and field event. This is the Bobcat Breakdown. That is the director of track and field and cross country, Bryant Leef.